Coach, obviously you get a few days off and able to get back to practice more than you have recently with how many games you had in a row. But just your thought process on what you want to get done in practice and what the emphasis is this week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next couple weeks. As a matter of fact, you know, we play Saturday obviously in the afternoon, and we'll have 3 full days of practice. We'll do our scouting and our prep work, but we'll also spend a lot of time on us, and it'll be the same focus next week with 8 days or 7 days, I guess how you want to look at it, between games. So we'll have lots of time to really do a deep dive into us and more of, like we've already started, but more of a self-scout and try to look at it from if you were preparing to play us, and you know, how would you attack us, and you know, what would you try to think about our offense and our transition and every facet of the game, and just try to, you know, critique ourselves, if you will, and then use that information. And we've got obviously a bunch of guys up there that are smart guys, and we're already hard at it, and we're going to meet this afternoon and see what we can implement to try to make us better. So excited about having this time. You know, as a player, it's a different perspective. At this point, they just want to play games. So we're going to have to get them to understand how vital this time is and how important this time is, and they're going to have to be mature and you know, understanding that if we use this time wisely and have the right type of focus, that we can get better as a basketball team.
We'll keep it to coaches, right, and
Chris,
staff.
We saw it a lot in that Fort Myers trip. Teams, you know, starting to double Tolu a little bit more. I guess, well, what's kind of the key to, you know, finding success when he's getting doubled, you know, for him and also for him and kind of his passing game to get out of that?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of different schemes employed against Tolu in the 7 games we've played. I'm sure we'll continue to see some things that other teams have done that were successful. We tend to copycat each other when we're preparing for the next game, and so we know for the most part, you know, 2 or 3 different ways that people are monstering or double teaming him in the post and not allowing him to go one-on-one. And we've just got to, as a staff, you know, try to move the pieces around a little bit on the board, if you will, to try to give Tolu options, you know, and make it easier on him to find the right guy, and then put the other 4 players on the court in positions where we can take advantage of it, either by a wide open inside out catch and shoot 3, or you know, some sort of cut to the basket, getting, you know, one of our scorers downhill. And so every game, I think, will be a little bit of a chess match when it comes to that. It's already happened, and fortunately for us, Tolu's shown that he's a willing passer, and he's really worked at that part of his game, and he's gotten a lot better at it in a short period of time. And I'm sure it's frustrating for him at times, because I would assume that most people, when you open up the laptop playing against us, you know, he's the first, second, third option that you're trying to slow down. So he gets a lot of attention, and he's not allowed to just play his normal game. But you know, that's what happens when you know, you're a good player like that.
Theo, go ahead.
You talked about kind of thinking of opponents' plan of attack. I mean, if you were playing Mississippi State, what would you try to do to exploit this team, and where do you see things that can be shored up?
I'm definitely not giving you the honest answer that comes to that. I mean, why would I give away what we would do? I should know my team the best, but there's plenty of coaches that are smarter than me, and they've already done some things that have given us some problems, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more.
Go to Danny Pedic, straight ahead, the second row.
Coach, I know obviously y'all played really well defensively, and it's probably a work in progress still, but where did you, at one point, did you see this team buy into your defensive philosophy? Was it the first practice, or have you seen it just kind of grow over time?
It's definitely been a growth. I would think you'd have to ask the players individually, but it's been more of, you know, guys jumping on the train, if you will. I think some from the jump were where we needed them to be, but over time, you know, from when we've arrived till this day, there's been just more commitment to what we're trying to do, and basically jumping off the bridge and saying, okay, I'm going to trust, and I'm going to get on the same page. And I guess they're not playing when they say you're going to have to defend and rebound to get on the court, and we've been preaching that since we've arrived. And And it's been good. You know, that's the one thing that I tell people, you know, colleagues that I talk to, friends, et cetera, that our culture, our buy-in is probably even better than what I anticipated it being this early in our tenure. I'm not complaining about it. It's been a pleasant surprise. And yeah, people are talking about our defense, and you know, it's been really good. But again, that's the best thing. I don't want to sound like a broken record about this team is we're just scratching the surface of what we could be and should be, in my opinion. Like, I wasn't very happy, even more so now after watching the tape, with our effort, our attention to detail in our last game. Yeah, we had some nice turnovers that led to easy baskets, but we had stretches of our defense where we were on our heels, not our toes. We weren't dominating the ball. We weren't dictating on the ball. We were allowing the offense to kind of do what they wanted to do, and that was disappointing. And, you know, the team's going to see it this afternoon for the first time. And I talked about a post game about playing against the game and the standard that we have set, and that's going to continue every day. And, you know, what we try to tell them is, regardless of where we're at in the season, you know, we're going to have big games down the road, and our job as coaches is to get them to understand that, you know, every day you're either winning or losing, you're either getting better or not. And for young people, you know, sometimes that's hard to, you know, look in the future, and you're just concerned about today and only today, and not worried about January and February. But that's where we're at right now, and hopefully we can get more of that buy-in, and if we do, then we have a chance to be good later.
Go ahead, Jack.
Coach, I know the net rankings are something that are supposed to be coming out pretty soon. Or is that something you look at throughout the season while you're trying to build like an NCAA tournament resume?
For sure. I mean, I think every coach would be lying if they didn't say they pay attention to that. I mean, that's the most important metric that's in the room. It's what the NCAA has used for years now. It used to be the RPI, and that's not even in the room anymore. And there's other metrics that are in the room, but the quad 1, 2, 3, 4 wins and your net and all that, formulas that they use are critical for your resume, your team sheet, if you will. And like you said, it's not out yet, and when it is, we'll certainly be paying attention to it. And a lot of it is out of our control. I mean, we can only control, our effort and the outcomes of the games that we play. But certainly, you get into the game of rooting for the teams that you've played. Whether you've won or lost those games, you become their biggest fan, all season long. Like right now, every night that there's games on that we're not involved, I'm rooting for every SEC team, almost every SEC team that plays each and every night, because it's going to help us. The stronger the league is in the non-conference schedule, the stronger our nets will all be.
We'll go back to Steph.
Coach, 2 of the next 3 games you guys got are Mississippi Valley State and then Jackson State coming up after that. I guess, how important is it in these non-cons to have these in-state matchups and kind of try to build the sport a bit in Mississippi?
Yeah, I'm glad that we were able to do that. I think to grow the game in our state, to get young people more aware of all the schools and universities that are playing this game that we all love. And I've been on the other side of that, and it's fun to have a crack at the bigger school and the bigger conference, if you will. And certainly it's a little risky at times when you're Mississippi State playing those type of folks, because how they've circled that game and what a big opportunity that is for them. So that'll be something we talk about as we get closer to those kind of games. But like I said, I'm really glad that we're able to do that this year. I
got a couple. Just any update on Rams and Horton as far as Saturday, and then with Shaquille Moore, we've seen him get hot from 3 in the past, and even when he's struggling offensively, he still does the defensive things and still gets after it. Is there something you noticing with his shot? Because his shot doesn't look off. It's not like he's airballing or bricking threes.
First of all, I'm actually meeting with our trainer as soon as we're finished here, so unfortunately I don't have an update. I will here in a few minutes when we're finished, and that's kind of was the itinerary for me being down here. I can go right across the hallway and sit with him in his office and see where we're at and where we go from here on him and all the guys. In terms of Shaq, I mean, he works at his craft. He's frustrated. he's getting wide open looks, and that's what I keep telling a lot of our guys. Like, take advantage of it. They're not guarding you. And if I was you, I would live in the gym and just get that thing ready, because you're going to get open looks, and take advantage of it. And until you knock them down, they're going to guard you the same way. And so what a great opportunity for you to get in that gym and earn that confidence and watch that ball go through the net. And then when the lights are on and the shots are meaningful, you can step up and make some big ones and not have to work that hard to get shots because of Tolu and how they're guarding a lot of us on the perimeter, but specifically for Shaq. And like you said, they look good. I mean, every time he rises up, I think it's going to go down, and we haven't talked about it a ton. My opinion, the way to get out of that is just to get in that gym and rep it out and trust your stroke and feel good about it. And like I said, post game, I think individually and collectively, we're going to have some breakout games coming up, and the lid's going to come off the basket, and it's going to help us, score the ball a lot better.
Anything else for Coach before we let him go? We'll go over to David at the table.
Along the same lines of the in-state matchups you're talking about, how important would it be to have a good crowd in the Jackson game when you get that chance here this holiday season?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Not to bring up a sore subject, but I played in that building, and I know what it feels like and looks like and sounds like, so that'll be comforting for me. Won't be as foreign like you would normally think of a new coach playing in a building outside of where you play your home games. So I'd assume with, them being a local team and us being 2 hours away, and I know we've got a ton of fans and a ton of Bulldogs in that area of the country, and like you said, it's around the holiday time, so I don't have a huge expectation. I don't know what to expect, to be honest with you, but we're hopeful that we'll get a bunch of Bulldogs in the building and it'll feel like a home game for us, but I would anticipate a really good crowd for that matchup.